Hello there, welcome to another episode on my channel. On this episode I'm going to tell you why I feel that the Leica M3 is one to have. So here we go. The Leica M3 is just a classic camera. You've seen it on television. Many movies have actually featured this camera. The lens that I have on this is a collapsible lens with an aperture f2, very compact. I'm gonna take it out so you can kind of see how it fits in my hand. It's just a tiny little lens, tiny little thing, collapsible, so really fits in your pocket. All right, let's mount it back on the camera. So this camera is from the 1950s. It's been a while since this was made and it's still working just fine. It doesn't actually use batteries. It's all mechanical. So it doesn't have a built-in light meter, meaning that you'll have to either use an external meter or just, work with experience. Always refer to the Sony 16 rule. You have the film counter right here and your viewfinder right over here. You typically take it to your right eye, simply move the focusing ring, align those two images, overlay them perfectly, and that's when you know you're in focus. So one thing, keep in mind, is that you're not really looking through the lens, you're looking through this window right here. So there may be a little difference in your framing if you're focusing onto something very close to you. At a distance, it really almost makes no difference. But there is more information about that if you want to get more technical. The size of this camera makes it very nice to travel with. So I'm gonna show you this lens. This is a 90mm LMR. It's also collapsible, as you can see. And you just mount the lens hood. And there it is, a 90mm f4. It's mounted on the camera. One of the reasons why I have these two lenses, like I said, goes back to being very portable, very small. But also because the viewfinder only has lines for 50, 90, and 135. So there you go. And same thing, you twist you turn the focusing ring. This actually has a lock, so let's unlock it. There you go. You turn it, and there you go. Take your shot. The noise that it makes, very mechanical, and actually somewhat quiet. It's not as loud as an SLR that has a prism and all that. The mirror in this case, that slaps, when it closes. It's louder, way louder than Leica M3. On the front, you're gonna have levers. This one here is gonna be your self-timer. And then over here is gonna be your selection for the guidelines. So even though you have a 90mm lens attached to the camera, you can change the lines to what a 50 or 135 will actually see. Just to get you an idea of how your framing will be if you had a different lens. I don't use it often, but it's good to have. Over here on the hot shoe, this case is a cold shoe. It has no contacts whatsoever. So you have to run a wire, a PC cable onto that connector. This is an adapter that you have to buy also to connect it to a PC flash. And then you just plug it in, and then you have your sync. Your sync is at 50th of a second. So it's somewhat slow compared to today's tech. But I mean, you're not buying this because you want the latest camera available. You're buying this because this is a classic. Once you're ready to put the camera back to its like on the bag, or you're not gonna use it for a while, I mean, you just close it, cover the lens, and there it is. Very compact, very small, just a classic, very classic camera. The film that I like to use on this is HP Ilford HP5. I actually roll my own cassettes. So I have this device. You buy the rolls by feet. It's 100 feet of film. that you can actually put inside this, and then you just open it, put your cassettes. I have some cassettes here. You put your cassettes in here and you load your own film into the cassettes. You can put, 3 frames, 5 frames, 15 frames, 20 frames. I think the maximum is 42 that you can put in something like this. I never go beyond 20. I do have a video that explains a tutorial basically that shows you how to use this. So I'll put a link to that if you are interested in rolling your own film. Over here, it's the Ona bag, it's the Bowery. It fits my kit just fine. One other lens that I don't have picture here is a 135mm lens that goes with it. I have it in another bag, so that's why I didn't put it in here. But that's my film kit. So let's go back to the camera. Like I said, classic camera. If you've been thinking about buying one of these, I'd say just do it. Why? Because it's a new experience. If you haven't actually shot with something like this, it will be a new experience. You're gonna learn from your mistakes by using something like this. So you can buy a light meter for this. You can attach it on the top. Voigtlander makes one, Leica also makes one. And that'll help you, if you're inside or changing lighting situations constantly, that'll help you a lot with getting the right exposure. Or you can also just buy, like a Sekonic light meter. They make smaller ones, so you don't need such a huge one. I like this one. I've had this one for 10 years or more. I've had the camera for about 5 years now, and it's really timeless. This camera is gonna keep on shooting, and if something were to break, you have 2 options. You can have you can send it to Leica actually, and they will fix it. Or you can just send it to other people in your country. There are people that still work on these cameras. I'm not gonna talk about price on the camera because you can find different prices, and also depending on the condition of the camera, well, that will dictate on how much you spend. This is in excellent condition, so this camera is gonna last me 50 years more or more. If you want to learn how to load film on a Leica, I also have another video that teaches you how to do that, so I'll put the link below. Now let's go to the slideshow. I'm gonna show you some photos that I've taken with this camera. Alright, so the mount has been the same since the 1950s. So even lenses that you buy today, Leica lenses, brand new Leica lenses, are still going to be compatible with this camera. For example, I have a Summilux that I really enjoy to use on this camera. There are also manufacturers like Carl Zeiss and Voigtlander that make lenses for this. There are other manufacturers as well that still make lenses for the M mount, and they are extremely well made, just like the camera is, and they are also very sharp. Some of those lenses are even sharper than your SLR lenses. So if you've been thinking about buying one of this, just go ahead and buy one. They're great cameras. They're gonna last you a long time. They don't depreciate, so you can buy one for whatever amount and sell it for the same amount or more in 10 years. So when you hold one of these cameras, the first thing you're gonna notice is the weight. They're heavier than what they look like. And the second thing you're gonna notice is how precise the levers and dials are actually made. There are no moving plastic parts in this camera. Everything is metal. So you'll feel the weight, you'll feel that it's very solid. One tip that I can suggest: keep your both eyes open while you're focusing, and that'll help you visualize your shot. Also, whatever is moving, or even if you're walking, you'll always be aware of your surroundings. Makes it very, very beneficial to have the viewfinder on your right eye. All right, if you like this video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. So I'll catch you on the next episode. Have a good one.